Hey guys, welcome to another episode of FatherStack's Rambling Reviews. I'm doing something a little bit different today because I'm doing a film that I've just seen at the cinema. I'm planning on doing a series of horror related films for October, leading up to Halloween. It won't be every day, but but today I'm doing The Joker. And I'll leave spoilers until near the end of the video, and I'll put a time up on the video where you can skip all that if you don't want to hear any spoilers. It's about a man called Arthur Fleck, and he lives in a block of flats with his mum. He's a clown, he's an aspiring comedian, and he's assigned to work outside a Kenny's Music that's closing its doors soon. I'm guessing he does this outside multiple shops, but in this instance it's outside a Kenny's Music. He's got a medical condition where he can't control his laughter. He laughs at the worst times possible. The first time you witness it is when he's on a bus and he's having fun with a little boy. He's making faces. He's doing that kind of thing. He's doing that kind of thing. I can't do it, but he's playing tricks and that, and he's having fun with the little boy, and the little boy's laughing away until the mum says, "Look, don't go near my boy. We're not interested. Just leave him alone." And then he just bursts out into this weird laugh to the point where he goes, "Look, what the hell's wrong with you? Stop it!" And he hands out a card that has all the details of his condition. That he's something like, "Please excuse my laughing. It's a medical condition." That kind of thing. And he's very much an outcast. As a comedian, he's not funny. He tries to make people laugh. I believe he wants to make people happy, but it doesn't always work that way. When he's first twirling the sign, he gets it snatched off him, and he chases them down for it. For what seems like a fucking mile. So he chases them away, and as he's trying to grab the sign, he gets battered over the head with it and they kick the shit out of him. After that, he's in a changing room with the rest of the clowns and that, and he gets given a gun by one of the clowns. He says, "Look, use this for self-defence." And Arthur at first is like, no, I don't want any part of it. But he ends up accepting the gun. As the film goes on, a series of events happens that make his mental state, drop and drop and drop. Such as he loses his job, which it sounds like a spoiler, but it's not. If you look at any synopsis of this film, you'll know he loses his job, and to the point where he snaps, and leading to the point where he becomes the Joker. It's an origin story that's completely separate from any comic book or film that's been based on Batman or the Joker. I'll talk about some of the things that this is going to be spoiler territory here. So if you want to avoid spoilers, just go to the little time on the screen here. I'm going to talk about some of the scenes that I found interesting. There's only about 4 or 5 killings in the film. It's about 2 hours long. The first one is the first actual killing is where he's on a subway, and there's 3 guys, and they're annoying this girl. I think they're throwing, if I can remember properly, I think it's popcorn. They're throwing popcorn at this girl. She's getting really irritated, and again Arthur bursts out in this uncontrollable laughter, where the woman ends up running away into another subway carriage. The thugs get a little bit pissed off at this, and they end up saying, what the fuck are you laughing at? That kind of thing. They get really angry with him and they end up punching him, and then he retaliates by shooting them. He shoots 2 of them, the other one runs away, and as the subway carriage is stopping, they play this kind of, there's this game that Arthur kind of plays where he's kind of looking at the carriage. He's kind of looking out, trying to, and the guy's kind of popping back in and like that. And when he runs out, Joaquin Phoenix also runs out, and then ends up shooting him dead, which is it's a really good scene. There's two guys visit his flat. He kills one of them. He kills his mum, and he kills a talk show host. There's a scene in this film where, as he's kind of descended into his madness, he's doing this weird dance thing. I was like, what's he doing here? It's really strange, and the film score's playing over it, and it's absolutely hypnotic as he's just doing this weird dance thing, and you got this haunting music playing, and it was probably one of my favourite scenes in the film. And I was like, I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was really, really good, really good. There's you find out in the film that Joaquin Phoenix's mum, she's been a figure of abuse in his life. A big part of definitely part of his psychosis. I want to talk about things that I liked about the film and things I didn't like. One of the things I didn't quite like about it is they do a subplot with Thomas Wayne, obviously Bruce Wayne's dad, where it turns out that Joaquin Phoenix's character Arthur, the Joker, he is convinced through a series of letters and what his mother has told him that Thomas Wayne is actually his dad. Now, and he confronts the dad. Well, he confronts Thomas Wayne, and Thomas Wayne turns out to be an absolute dickhead. Off like the highest. He's got such an ego, and he goes, "Look, you're my father. You're my father. Trust me." And Thomas says to him, "Look, I'm not your dad. Your mum was a psycho. She is delusional." And he ends up punching Arthur in the face. My problem with that is that this is a standalone Joker origins film. I don't think anything to do with Batman should have been in it. They could have used that for a separate film or something, but it was just although I did kind of like that scene, I liked the scenes with Thomas in it, but it was just a little bit too on the nose. I was like, remember he's connected to Batman. Thomas Wayne, what the Bruce Wayne, you know, and I just felt it was out of place. I don't think it was really needed. I think they could have cut those scenes out. I just think as a Joker origin story, I would have preferred if there was no mention of him at all in it. It even gets to the point where you see the events of the Waynes being murdered in front of Bruce by a clown, by a guy that's supposedly inspired by Joker's killings, and because after he kills the three people on the subway, it's all over the news, and a bunch of people dressed as clowns kind of get out in the riot against the rich. So it's like a poor against the rich thing. There's a strike, like the bin men are on strike, so the city is filled with rubbish. People aren't picking up the rubbish, and there are giant rats roaming the streets, which you don't see. I think I saw one rat. This might have just been my mind playing tricks on me, but I think I saw one rat in a scene running past. But there are apparently rats roaming in the streets, and yeah, it's not a very nice place to live. Yeah, and another thing is, there's a character that, I forget her name, but she lives next door to him, to Arthur and his mum, and the first kind of interacting in the lift, going up to their flat, and she's got a little girl, and the little girl starts talking on, and then you've there's a scene where she just goes like that, like she's had enough of her daughter talking, and she goes, like, you know, save me from this. And then they have this bond, and after he bonds with her, he he goes into this thing where he's having sex with her and they go on dates and everything, until one day where he actually goes into her flat without her there, and she goes, kind of, what are you doing here? You're Arthur from next door, right? He goes, yeah, we've met, we've got a thing going on. And she's like, can you please leave? This is creeping me out. And as he goes out, he just kind of does the same thing, goes, and that's, as he realises that they weren't really dating and it was all in his head, it goes back to the scenes where they were dating, and you see her not there, where it's just him still. And I just thought that was a little bit too kind of, again, a little bit too obvious. I mean, when she says, look, we were never together, it's obvious that it was in his head. I don't think they needed to show us, like, him on his own without her, because I just found that a little bit too obvious. Those were the only two kind of things I had problems with. Joaquin Phoenix in this is outstanding. I didn't know what to expect, but he is brilliant. The laughter he's got, there's such a pain in him when he laughs. It starts with this laugh, but you see this, it's like he's about to cry. There's this pain in him, and it's just like, you really pity this guy. It's like, it's so hard to watch at times. You feel really uncomfortable watching him, especially when he's in the stand-up club and he's making the jokes. He's so unfunny. It's like, he thinks people are laughing at him, but they're not. They're really not. And there's a scene at the start where he's in bed with his mum watching TV, and he admires this guy called Murray, he's like a talk show host. He's like a comedian / talk show host, like a Johnny Carson kind of Jay Leno type. And he sees him, he's in the audience, and Arthur is actually in the audience watching his show, and then he's laughing. He comments on how funny this Murray guy is, played by Robert De Niro. He's the talk show host, and he goes on about how funny he is, and he goes, who said that? Put the spotlight on him. So the guys put the spotlight on him, and Robert De Niro says, stand up a minute. Who are you? And he says, I'm Arthur. He says, I live at home with my mum. And they all laugh at him. He goes, wait. He says, there's nothing wrong with living at home with your mum. He goes, I lived at home with my mum before I got the career I got, that kind of thing. And he says, tell me more about yourself. So he says that he takes care of his mum, and he cares for her, he washes her. That was kind of a weird scene, I thought. There's a scene where he washes her in the bath. I wanted to see this with my friend, and they thought that it was just him caring for his mum, but it's like he's watching TV on her bed with her. I was like, did he sleep in her bed? Is he washing her? I was like, is that an incest thing? Is that part of his abuse? They don't go into that, but my friend just thought that was just part of him caring, so I guess that's just the way I interpreted it. I could be completely wrong, but let me know what you think in the comments about that. The mum is batshit crazy. When the cops are quizzing him about the murders on the subway, they end up going to his mum's house, and the mum ends up panicking. You don't see it, you just hear it from the cops. She ends up going fucking nuts and ending up in the hospital. And when he realises that his mum has kind of deceived him, that she was delusional and that Thomas Wayne isn't actually his dad, he ends up smothering her with a pillow in the hospital. Words can't explain how good he is in this film. I don't know how much weight he's lost, but if you go back to Christian Bale in The Mechanic, the film The Mechanic, and how much weight he lost, he makes Christian Bale look obese. He has lost so much weight. All you see are the ribs, and it's nasty to look at. It's like he just obviously got so into character, he just decided to lose all this weight just to, maybe he didn't eat You know, maybe the character of Arthur is so kind of deranged now that he decided not to eat, and that's why he lost all the weight. But everything that happens to him, when he loses his job, is because he's entertaining some kids at a hospital, and he's dressed as his clown and he's doing his act, and he's do you know what? He does come across as genuinely entertaining to the kids. I'll give him that. He seems genuinely entertaining to those kids, but a gun falls out of his jacket or his trousers, I can't remember, and that's it. People are like, what the fuck are you doing with a gun? I think that's exactly what his boss says. What the fuck is wrong with you? He says, why did you bring a gun to a room full of kids, the sick kids? What's wrong with you? It was a prop gun. It's part of my act. But as he leaves, he ends up ratting out the guy. They give him the gun. He goes, by the way, it was him that gave me the gun. And the guy that he gave the gun to is one of the people he kills later on. I'm going to talk about the controversy of this film. As soon as the trailers came out, there's a lot of controversy about the violence in this film and how it may cause imitators. And this, I think it goes back to, like, was it The Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight? I can't remember, where a guy dressed up as a Joker and he killed like 20 people in a cinema. In no way, I don't think was this guy inspired by the Joker or any of the Batman films. I just think he thought it was a popular film, and I'll probably use that as a scapegoat. The guy was obviously mentally deranged. Now, the violence in this film, I've got to say, this is what they would call now as a non-controversy. The way the media and that are making it out to be is like it's going to be like a blood fest, and I was expecting throat slashings and no. There is one scene in this that I've got to say, yeah, okay, that's really violent, and I can really go, oh Jesus. And this film got a 15 over here, which is kind of in between your PG-13 and a light R, whereas our 18 category is like your what you would call a hard R, kind of between a hard R and an NC-17. And I thought that one scene could have made it an 18, but there's only like the violence happens. Like I say, there's like 4 killings in it. Well, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 people die in it. He kills 6 people, and it's done in like 4 different scenes. So there's 4 scenes of violence plus him getting shit kicked out of him. It's not the bloodbath you would expect. There are there have been violent films out for years, and I was like, after watching, I was like, what's the controversy? What's this all about? And I can guarantee you the people that number one, people first complained about this. News outlets and that complained about it after seeing the trailer, so they just made shit up. And second of all, the people that say they did see it and that it was going to cause copycat killings and that, I don't think saw the film, because if you saw the film you'd go, what's the controversy all about? I don't get it. There are films that are way more violent. Do you know what? The Dark Knight's more violent than this. It doesn't have the blood in it, but there's definitely more violence in The Dark Knight. There's definitely more violence in most of the Marvel films, and I don't get it. They say you were meant to sympathise with Arthur. No, I didn't sympathise with him at all. I pitied him. There were maybe at the start, before he really goes on saying, you do feel a little bit sorry for him when he gets his shit kicked out of him and that, but you pity him more than anything. You're like, he comes across as pathetic. You don't want to be this guy. So bullshit to all that. It's absolute nonsense beyond belief. Another thing that came out a couple of days ago is when people were going on about the use of the Gary Glitter song Rock and Roll Part 2 during the scene where he's dancing down the steps after he first becomes the Joker. After he first becomes Joker, he dances down the steps and it's got Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter. Now, to Americans, that might not mean anything, but over here, Gary Glitter was a glam rock singer from the 70s, and in the late 90s, he was charged with some I'm not going to go into it in this video. You can look it up. Now, I just want to say that the crimes that he was charged for are absolutely despicable, you know, absolutely disgusting beyond belief. But the song they used is brilliant, and it sets the scene perfectly. It really fits the film. So I don't think they should have got rid of the song, because it suits the film really, really well. And people are saying they're going to boycott the film because the songs. But it's a song. If you're offended by a song being used in the film, then what kind of mindset are you in? Just enjoy the film for what it is. They're saying that Gary Glitter's going to get royalties off it, but he's in the jail just now in Vietnam, and he's an old man now. He's going to die. He won't see any of those royalties, and the film's already making millions already. So just go and see the film. In fact, no, don't go and see the film, because if you're upset about a song in a film, you know, don't go and see films. You know, if that's the way you're thinking, don't go and see it. Anyway, I thought the scene was great. I thought the song was perfect in it. And I think Gary Glitter should burn in hell. He's fucking disgusting. But it doesn't mean that some of his music isn't good, you know. What can I say? He's a horrible, evil bastard, but some of his music is pretty good, you know. You can't take that away. Good music is good music, whether or not the person is an angel or, you know, an evil, disgusting bastard, you know. I mean, what do these people expect? Do they expect, like, the film producers and the music supervisors to do a background check on every single artist they decide to put into their film? You know, it's ridiculous. You know, just so it doesn't hurt your feelings. You know, it's craziness to me. I also wanted to add that the similarities between Joker and Martin Scorsese's King of Comedy. In King of Comedy, Robert De Niro plays Rupert Pupkin, who's an aspiring stand-up, and he's a loner. He's not well liked, and he's also has a great admiration of Jerry Lewis's talk show host character. This film was definitely inspired by it. In fact, it's almost like it was written as a remake of King of Comedy, and then they decided to write the Joker around that premise. It even has Robert De Niro as the Murray guy in Joker. He was Rupert Pupkin in King of Comedy, so it's like a role reversal for him, which obviously done on purpose. It had to. If this is a coincidence, it's the most coincidental thing I've ever heard. But no, it had to have been done on purpose. So yeah, I just thought I'd add that. Have I covered everything? Yeah, I want to give it a rating. So, Thomas Wayne, and yeah, the Thomas Wayne subplot aside, I'd give this about an 8 out of 10, based mostly on Joaquin Phoenix's performance. He is brilliant beyond belief in this film. It has to be seen to be believed. That laugh is just so eerie. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'll probably go and see it again sometime. If you're bothered by the controversy, don't see the film, you know. But honestly, it's a controversy about nothing. Honestly, it's not that violent. I'm looking at my Blu-ray collection here. It's like, look at that. What could I equate a violence to? It's honestly, it's really the controversy has. But then again, if it wasn't for this controversy, I probably wouldn't have gone and seen the film. So whenever they make a big deal about these things, it just makes me want to see the film more. So in this case, you know, you lose media because people like me went to see the film because of the hype you've given it. The hype of the film itself, it does kind of deserve. It's got a 9 out of 10 rating on average on IMDb, and it's rated number 9 best film on the top 250 list. That's pretty much because every time somebody goes to see a film, or in this case it watches the trailer, automatically rated at 10. I wouldn't go as far as to call it a 10. There are problems with it, but they're pretty minor. I'd give it an 8. What else? There was one last thing I was going to say. Yeah, check it out. It is well worth watching. It's not often I go to the cinema to watch films. I don't often have the time. Yeah, it is a slow film. It's not what people will expect. If people are expecting a horror film, it's not a horror film. If people are expecting an action film, it's not an action film. If people are expecting, like, you know, violence, blood, gore, it's not like that. It's a character study, a very good character study of a man losing his mind. I really liked it. I liked the pacing of it. I can't fault it in a lot of ways. It was directed by Todd Phillips, who done the Hangover films and Road Trip and Old School, and he's went on to do this really good drama, and hopefully it's a path he'll continue on, because I really enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll see it again. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you've seen it, let me know what you think of it in the comments, and if you've got any recommendations for the future videos, let me know, and I'll be back soon. Thanks guys.